you are working for the future you, it almost feels like my goals really are going to be accomplished. I've been filming all day, but I haven't talked at all, which is crazy. It feels kind of weird. So now we're cleaning up the ginormous mess that I have on my bed. But I feel like I did want to talk about a couple things that I've been thinking about lately. There has been this book that I've been listening to, which has been one of my goals this year, is to read more books, become more knowledgeable in some things that I want to become more knowledgeable in. And this book is called The Mountain Is You by Brianna West. But I think that book is really good for people wanting to better themselves and really get your ideas to become real. There was a really good quote in there that I liked, and it was, detach the younger you to the you are now. I really like that quote because I feel like that is something a lot of us find hard to do. Whether you were a bad kid or someone that wasn't very strong-minded or got picked on a lot, or even if you were just completely different, you were very outgoing and now you're not. I think we should see these things as something not bad, but change is good. I think the thing that we should think about is why we turn that way. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I think we should just question ourselves a lot. But that quote is important to me because I feel like that is where I'm at right now with working out or actually setting my goals into reality. For example, this. I used to love sitting in front of the camera and recording. I loved it. I would vlog everything. I'd be doing what's in my bag, what I'm gonna do tomorrow, what I'm wearing. And I feel like that's something I did bring with me as the person I am now. But something that I did change is that I feel like I'm not as much as a loud person, if that makes sense. And I think it is a little bit harder for me to just talk in front of the camera. But I think what I'm trying to say is that find things that were you and how they morphed now and how you can bring them together. Because at the end of the day, childhood you and the you now is one, but at the same time, they are separate. It sounds kind of weird, I know. The book will help you explain that, but I'm just trying to say that, for example, another thing is the gym right now. I always tell myself I'm not an athletic person, but that was the kid version of me. Of course, I wasn't athletic. I wasn't in any sports. I wasn't in any clubs. I wasn't dancing. I wasn't doing anything physical. But the me now really wants that, and that is okay. And that is where I divide myself and say that was the younger version of me. The me now wants better things, different things, and that is okay. Another amazing quote from the book, genuinely changing my perspective 100%. I love this quote. I will forever use this quote now, and that is, you are working for the future you. A lot of the times you will hear that you are your own boss, and you know what? At the end of the day, you are, right? But I feel like when you hear that, it sounds very vague. I feel like when I heard you are working for the future you, it almost feels like my goals really are going to be accomplished, and the habits that you have now are you being a good employee to yourself. I feel like I take a long time to do things, or I process too much things in my head before I actually start it. But if you are at a job, obviously you're not going to take that long to start your job. You just go. So I think that helps me a lot with going to the gym more easy, cleaning up my room, doing good things. And I say that because the future you would want that. Some things really are just so simple, but we tend to overthink it. But if it was for someone else, would you be thinking that hard? A lot of us would say no, because if it's not for you, it's like, oh, well, I have pressure because someone else is giving me that pressure. Give yourself that pressure. And I'm not saying that to scare any of you guys, but I think it's just a good feeling to have if you want to really pursue things and change, because in order to change, you have to make change. It's not just going to happen one day to another. It's okay for you to change what you wanted along the process. There is no rules to any of this. Think for yourself. It is okay to struggle a little bit, because another thing is progress isn't linear. You're going to struggle. When things get hard, all of a sudden, a lot of us want to stop, and myself included. That is something I have always done. I always tend to stop midway. Let me show you a real life example of that, because I always do this. See these books right here? All read halfway. Why? I don't know, because the books were good. I literally got halfway of this, halfway of that, halfway of this. So I think these books are really just a metaphor for things that I do in real life. And there's really no reason as to why I'm stopping, because these books were really good. I feel like I just tend to give up when it's like I'm almost there. So my goal this year is to really, what is the word that I'm looking for? Present and genuine. And those two things are gonna take me a long way. By genuine, I mean that I really want to do it. I'm not doing it for the sense of someone else, or because I want to become this ideal person. It's just, I'm doing it because I genuinely want to do it. Self-love. That's really all it is. You have to really put forward things that you like. I love my room right now. This is me. This corner is me. I love it. It's all the styles that I like. And it took me a long time to find that. I have always been someone that changes this because I'm like, oh, I got inspired by this person. And then, but I think this time it feels really solid as to what I really want. And this is the thing. It is okay if that changes at some point. I have to be okay with that. But as of right now, I'm happy, I'm content. So I think you should too. That's enough of my spiel. Let's keep cleaning. Okay, so we are now making some vision boards. So we're going to talk about first the things that we want to achieve this year. Firstly, we want to do better in photography area, something with my business. I already made my website, being more creative, intentional, working out, feeling good. So I'll check back in when I get a couple things from the magazines. I want to go into another section of what I want my 2025 to look like. I created this into 4 sections, which I think is so helpful. A lot of people tend to just like throw everything and like, what do you want to do and this, that, and it's like, I can't, my brain doesn't process it like that. So I divided everything into body, mind, creation, and family. With these 4 pillars, I will add things that relate to what I want to improve in those sections. Like for example, for body, I want to work out 3 or 4 times a week. And with that, I will implement it every week. For mind, I want to read more often. So I'm going to find a way how to implement that every single week. For creation, that is obviously photography, video, and creation also to me is like business in a sense of like Pinterest, reselling, and stuff like that. And lastly, family, that is like starting a new hobby with my brothers or cooking with my mom, you know, something that will help me connect with my family more. But these pillars are really helpful because it helps actually see what you want very clearly. And this is something that can change, obviously, but for the most part, it is not changing throughout the year. So you can always go back to these sections and find out if you're not doing this, you can at least be doing that. You know, it's always some sort of progress because, like I said, progress isn't always linear. You will have some bad days, you will have some good days, but that is what progress is all about. As long as you are putting the effort forward, that is where you will grow. If you want to see how I wrote it in my journal, this is what it looks like. This is really random, but if your brain knows what it's doing, she knows what she's doing. As I continue improving and making this routine a reality, I will probably end up doing a video on what it looks like living my ideal routine for a week. That way you guys can actually see what I mean and the full details of everything. But let's get on with the video.
Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Hey! Okay, pretend to be happy. Come on. Pretend. Brando, sonríe.
Ok, pónganse todos. Pónganse ahí, Olisa y Sebastián.
Dale, play.
Federico.
All those guys are humongous,
Ya, ponte para acá, Seba.
Picture, picture. Smile. Come. Who's holding hands?
Okay.
So this is what we do. We go to the park and we're like, yeah, let's have a picnic. And then we play Clash Royale. I win. So right now we're at Arena
6. You're at Arena 6.
7.
7? Oh,
7.
sorry. Apologies.
Trader Joe's has the cutest drinks.
Hey, balloon's low-key good.
I'm gonna have to go back and try every flavor. It comes with 4 of them. And they're just so good. Do you guys like the flower mic? I think she's real cute. She's giving everything I want. It has been a long time coming. When I first started this video, I truly didn't expect it to take me a year to make. I didn't even have a time frame. I didn't even know what this video was going to end up being. I'm not going to lie, I did film that around February, obviously, because it was so early on in the year. And I just wanted to do it in a way where I felt like my goals weren't late enough to start. And my goals, you know, kind of strayed away in early or mid April. And, you know, you kind of forget where you want to be towards the end of the year or what you really had in mind for the rest of the year. It is currently December 5th. I think. But I recently, in the past 2 weeks, I had rewatched the part that I edited because it's just been so long and I kind of gave up on the video unintentionally, you know, it just kind of happened. And it was just such a big reminder to myself of like what I wanted to do for the year. And it's just, in a way, it's a little disappointing, but it's also like kind of motivating seeing where I am compared to when I started the video. I think I'm not where I wanted to be exactly, but I can say I did make progress this year. Obviously, every year we're going to be improving, we're going to be changing something different because there's always going to be improving in our life. There's never going to be a moment where you don't stop improving something, you know? You're never just going to get to this finish line. There's always going to be something. And I think that used to stress me out or like scare me. I think it still does a little bit, but not in a impending doom kind of way. I'm gonna bring this up with this one quote that I heard my teacher say. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she had mentioned something about doing the hard thing is gonna be harder than, of course, doing the easy thing, you know? I'm probably wording that like very bad, but hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying. But being a good person is harder than being a bad person, you know? Because you're always having to put intention forward. I think that that's a huge word that I use this year, intention. I wish I stuck to it a little bit more. I think that's one thing that I got when I rewatched the video and I started editing it again. I was like, wow, like I just tend to forget what my goals really were for the year, but intention, of course, is something I will always try and work on. I always want to be intentional with what I'm doing. I think this year was like a big break for me in a way. I don't want this to end in some kind of sad way or, sound disappointing, but I didn't do a lot of the things I wanted to do this year. And in a way, I just kind of had to accept that. And not because it's just like, oh, that sucks, but it's get up, move on, and truly see, okay, did that work for me? Yes, no, okay, do something different. And honestly, I think that didn't work for me, but unintentionally, I want to say like this past month I've just been feeling different lately, and I think in a good way. It took me the whole year to finally get here, but I'm actually glad that it's happening now. So hopefully by the next year I see things and do things differently. I don't really know where I'm trying to get to with the end of this video, but I think I'm just trying to say that as long as you're always trying to put some sort of step forward and like always moving, doing something, or working towards yourself, putting energy towards yourself in any kind of way, anytime, it's gonna get you somewhere. Even though it took me a long time to do that for this year, I think I'm finally at a point where I know I can do better for myself this coming weeks, years. I think there's a lot of the things also in the beginning of the year that I thought I would want to do by the end of the year, but I think I just don't, and it's hard for me to accept that. Either way, I hope you guys are watching this and got some sort of advice from it, because I still watched the beginning of this video and I really love what I'm saying because it's very true, especially the part where I talk about disconnecting your younger self to the you now, because I think imposter syndrome is something I can go on and on about, but here we are. I just love to talk. I think that's just what this is going to be about. I just want to speak my mind. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that a little bit. I think setting like too specific goals is something that stresses me out. So I'm just like not gonna do that. So you guys will see me when you see me on this channel, because I will post when I intentionally feel like it, when I have something to say. We're getting there. You're getting there. As long as you keep working toward yourself and really know you're worthy of what's around you, something good's gonna happen. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I've been wanting to film this clip for a while just so I can get this video out before the new year. So I hope you took some advice, and I hope to see you guys back here soon. Bye guys.